Once upon a time in a busy city, there lived a 25-year-old young man named Leo. Leo was known as the kindest person around. He never said no to anyone. But behind his gentle smile, Leo was deeply tired. His heart felt heavy, and his mind was never at peace. He was like a candle burning at both ends. He tried to warm everyone else, but he was slowly burning himself out. He was always there for others, but he had forgotten how to be there for himself. In his office, Leo stayed late every night to finish work for his colleagues. They went home to have dinner with their families, but Leo stayed behind, tired and hungry. On weekends, when he desperately needed rest, he helped a friend move into a new house, even though his back was aching. He even lent money to a neighbor, though he barely had enough left for his own rent. Inside his mind, a quiet, fearful voice always whispered, "If I say no, they will hate me. They will find someone better." This fear kept him running like a machine. But one evening, as he walked into his apartment, his legs gave way. Leo collapsed on the floor. He wasn't sick, but he was completely empty. Lying there, looking at the ceiling, he remembered Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas was a wise old man who lived on a quiet farm in Oregon, famous for his peaceful life and his beautiful apple orchard. Leo realized he couldn't go on like this. He packed a small bag, got into his car, and drove to find the old man. When Leo arrived, the farm was quiet. The air smelled of fresh soil and sweet fruit. He found Mr. Thomas in the middle of the apple orchard. The old man didn't say much. He just smiled and handed Leo a pair of sharp gardening shears. He pointed to a large apple tree. It was full of green leaves and tangled branches, but the apples on it were very small and pale. Mr. Thomas said softly, "Leo, I want you to prune this tree. Cut off the dead branches, but also you must cut off some of the healthy branches that are growing in the wrong direction or crowding the others." Leo looked at the tree and hesitated. The branches looked alive. He held the shears, but his hands shook. He said, "Uncle, why must I cut them? It feels cruel. It feels like I am hurting the tree. I want to keep all the branches so the tree can be big." To Leo, cutting parts of the tree felt like rejecting parts of life. He stood there, unable to make the first cut, afraid of causing pain. Mr. Thomas placed his hand gently on Leo's shoulder. He explained, "If you try to keep every branch, the tree has to share its energy with too many parts. It becomes exhausted, and it cannot produce good fruit. Pruning is not about hurting the tree. It is about helping the tree focus its energy on what matters most." With his uncle's guidance, Leo began to cut. Branch by branch, the tree became less cluttered. Sunlight could finally reach the center of the tree. It looked stronger and healthier. Leo looked at the pile of cut branches and finally understood. His energy was just like the tree's sap. He realized that saying no to others was actually saying yes to his own health and happiness. He wasn't being mean. He was simply protecting his own fruit. Leo returned to the city, but he was no longer the same exhausted young man. The very next day, a colleague asked him to finish a task that wasn't his responsibility. For a split second, Leo felt that familiar fear. But then, he remembered the strong, pruned apple tree. He took a deep breath and said gently, "I cannot do that today." Surprisingly, the world didn't end. Instead, Leo felt a quiet strength rising within him. He finally understood that a no uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. Leo was finally tending to the garden of his own life. I hope you find the courage to protect your peace, just like Leo. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Stay well and stay true to yourself.